Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something.
Hi there, and welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next, and if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So, hope everybody had a wonderful turkey day. Hope you set your scales back about 15-20 pounds, depending. I know I needed to. But anyway, my daughter came to visit for the holiday, and we're going to go ahead and change the oil on her car while she's here. And she happened to mention that she thought she heard the brake squeaking. And once I saw what it was, I thought that was rather video worthy to show y'all. And so let's jump right into it. All right, so as she was saying that she thought she heard the brake squeaking. And when I looked at it, it looks like the shim that's on the back of the brake pad right there. I will put an arrow in there in post to show you. Looks like it's slid off the pad and is just about completely fallen out of there. So what we're going to need to do is pop this tire off and take that caliper off and put that shim back in there where it belongs, and get it to where it'll maybe put some the anti-squeak stuff on there. It kind of acts as a little bit like a glue to hold that shim in place. So let's get the wheel off and we'll get a better look at what's going on in here. Okay, dokie. Let's get this wheel off of here, and then we'll pull our caliper. See what we got going on in here. And of course, when you're checking brakes and things like that, it's always a good idea to give the old tire a visual inspection. Make sure you don't have any screws or nails or anything that may have found their way in there, because it's not like the tire is going to explode if something gets stuck in there. You know, radial tires will hold a nail or a screw in place, and you just might have a slow leak over time. But this one looks good, so we're all right. Right, this particular one uses a 14 millimeter to hold that caliper pin in place. They're usually on there pretty snug. This is what they call a floating caliper, and it has a pin that goes in here and here, and then the caliper slides back and forth, and as it squeezes pads against the rotor, it kind of centers itself. So you always want to, of course, make sure that the pins are clean and have plenty of good grease on them and they hadn't dried up on you. Now, what I'm going to do here, slide this caliper off, kind of squeeze it down a little bit. And you can see, looks like the ear on the top there kind of got bent out of whack, and allowed this shim to slide out of place, and through normal vibration and, you know, driving and all, it just kind of eventually wiggled its way on out of there. So in the grand scheme of things, this is a pretty minor issue. But brake pads are looking fine and no problems there. So all we really need to do is kind of clip that back in there, and I'll tighten this up so that it's kind of holds itself in there good and snug. Go ahead and get this pad out of here where I can show you. So, of course, here's your brake pad, and then this will go on there like so, and just kind of holds itself in there, no problem. And as long as it doesn't, that little tab doesn't get bent out of the shape, you're okay. Now, I don't need to. I was thinking I might have to put some of that anti-squeak spooge on the back here, but I don't need to. It'll stay on there fine. You actually don't want to use that unless you really absolutely have to, because most of the time these shims do a great job of keeping your brake squeal down. So we'll put this puppy back in here, and put our caliper back on. Stick our pins back in there, and then of course, make sure once you get back in the car, you pump the brake pedal up before you move the car, because we've pushed this piston back, and what'll happen is your pedal will go to the floor the first time. Alright, now we got our caliper all back together. We'll get our wheels put on, snug them up. I'm going to take her for a test drive and see if she squeaks.